This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. Some tribes in Oregon are reclaiming land and gaining recognition for their sustainable management practices. KLCC's Brian Bull reports.
Since last year, several tribes in Oregon have had thousands of acres restored through the Western Oregon Tribal Fairness Act or been given oversight of their own forests. Darren Jarnigan, Natural Resources Director for the Coquille Tribe, says this helps protect traditional native plants.
The Coquille Tribe wants to make sure that members have access to historically what was here on the landscape for tribal purposes. The wildlife, the plant communities, the bear grasses, the hazels, the camas, plants that the tribal members come and use and expect to be here when we're done managing the landscape.
Don Motanic of the Intertribal Timber Council says independent assessments are shared with Congress every 10 years, comparing tribally managed forests with those managed by the federal government. These have highlighted two big differences.
One is that tribal forestry programs function at 1/3 of the cost as compared to the Forest Service. It's $9 an acre for the Forest Service and $3 an acre for tribes. The second key point they make is that tribes are models of sustainability because some of the programs have been in existence over 100 years.
And the latest Farm Bill has provisions that will boost tribes' management of forests, which could include federal ones adjacent to their reservations. For National Native News, I'm Brian Bull.
An exhibit is showcasing photos believed to be the first photos of Southeast Alaska and the Tlingit people. KMBA's Trip Krause talks with the curator about the historical context of the photos.
MyBridge in Alaska collects a number of photographs originally taken in 1868 from a travel expedition taken by Edward MyBridge. The show's curator, Mark Schaefer, attended the debut of the show at the Alaska Native Heritage Center in Anchorage.
And they're the first photographs ever taken that we know of Tlingit people, and the first photographs ever taken of Sitka and of the Southeast region. So they have a lot of historical value, and for Tlingit people in particular, obviously, a lot of cultural value.
The photographs include depictions of Fort Tongass, Fort Wrangell, and Sitka.
They're original, so they were produced in 1868, 1869. But they're also windows into a time that's very important in the history of the state and the history of Native people.
The photos were taken with a single camera and two lenses. The side-by-side images are meant to be viewed with a device that helps blend the two images into one, creating almost a three-dimensional image. The exhibit will be on display at the Heritage Center through March, before it moves to Haines and later to Sitka. In Anchorage, I'm Trip Krause.
A bill on missing and murdered Indigenous women advanced in the Nebraska legislature this week. The legislation calls for a study and data collection by the State Patrol. It would require the State Patrol to work with tribal, local, and federal agencies to identify barriers, examine ways to provide state resources to address the issue, and recommendations to improve the reporting of missing Native American women in Nebraska. Other states are considering similar legislation, including in Washington, which builds on legislation passed in the state last year to address the issue. This week, Native Americans testified in support of a bill in Kansas to replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day. Lawmakers are considering the bill introduced by Representatives Dennis Heiberger and Pankawee Victors to change the holiday statewide. In recent years, cities including Lawrence and Kansas City have moved to celebrate Indigenous people on the second Monday in October. The bill did not get a hearing last year. Lawmakers in other states are also seeking statewide change of the holiday, including in New Mexico, where similar legislation advanced this week. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation, with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
My day one.
My day one.
My day one.
My day one.
My day one. My day one.
My day one.
Day one. Telling inspiring stories of Alaskans and alcohol recovery. Recovery works. Hope starts here. Go to recoveralaska.org to learn more.
Support by the Travoy Indian Country Affordable Housing and Economic Development Conference starting April 9th in Miami, Florida. Discounted hotel rooms available through March 15th. Qualifying attendee info at travois.com/annual-conference.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.